friends, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Sigrid and I make videos about books because I love them. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly unboxing of a book of the month. The book subscription box that gives you one newly released hardcover book. You have 5 options to choose on, and then they also give you options of a few additional add-ons that you can add for, I believe, $10.99 extra. So this will actually be a video for November and December. I will start with the November books, which I have right here, and December is on its way, so it's going to be 2 videos for you guys. So let's get started and jump into November's boxes. So, you guys, I don't know if you can see this, but I have 3. I have 3 boxes here. And I must say that I think November was probably the best picks that they had the entire year. This is the only time that I felt like I had to go from my 2 accounts that I've been using throughout the entire year to adding a 3rd account, which is crazy. But because I added that 3rd account, I now can confirm 2 things. Number 1, if you were to use the link in my description box, that subscription will be $5 plus tax. I did not know that because normally I would say you can click the link in the description box if you want to. I'm not sure if it's $9.99 or if it's $5. I can confirm it's $5, which is amazing. And secondly, the book that I got in my 3rd account was an add-on selection. It wasn't one of the monthly picks, and I didn't know that you could do that. But now I know. If you have a new account, I think that you can pick any book that you want, even if it's not one of that month's books. I was able to, like, they were giving me options to like pick anything, you know, so really good. So I'm gonna start with my 3rd account book, which I immediately deactivated, by the way. I don't want you guys to think that this is gonna be a thing, because it's not. And I will say December's books were not as good as November. Like, I really struggled trying to find books that I wanted for December. I actually almost skipped it. And that's a huge leap to go from like getting an extra account to like not even having a pick. And one thing about Book of the Month is that if you have been subscribed for at least 12 months, you become what is known as a BFF. And in addition to getting a book during your birthday month, a free book during your birthday month, you also get to pick a free book at the end of the year in December for based on one of their book of the year nominees. I think it's like 5 different things that you could choose. Of course, I already have most of those books, and if I don't have it, that means I don't want it. So I called the line and I just told them, look, like, I already own all of the books that you have. And so they just gave me a credit. I struggled so hard to pick a free book, like, from their entire website for that free credit, but I didn't want to not pick one because I didn't know if you had to use it in December or not. So December is going to be a struggle, so just letting you guys know that. So let's get started with the 1 book box. If you have never signed up for it, here's what you get in your first box. You get this little pamphlet right here, and it talks about the history of Book of the Month. And did you know they were around since 1926? Had no clue. And then you also get this little thing that talks about their app. The book that I chose for this month that made me come back was Before I Let Go. I am a huge advocate of supporting BIPOC authors, and so I feel like anytime that a subscription service has their books and you have the option to get it, because this is signifying to them that yes, we do want books like this. Please continue to contract and, you know, sell these books because we want them, because it's harder for BIPOC and indigenous authors. Isn't that the I in BIPOC? Anyways, it's harder for them to sell their books. It's harder for them to market and publicize and for people to buy them. So we have to do our part as customers to get these things out of here. So obviously this is Kindle Ryan. I was going to buy this book anyways. I actually had it pre-ordered and I was like, wait, Book of the Month has it? Let me get that one too. So Before I Let Go, stunning cover. Absolutely stunning. I'm so excited. This is one of their romance picks. This was actually an add-on, as I said. So I'm gonna read it for you guys to let you guys know what it's about. Their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after devastating blow, Yasmin and Josiah Wade found that love alone couldn't solve or save everything. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she finally started to find joy again. She and Josiah have found a new rhythm co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. Yet, like magnets, they've always drawn back to each other, and now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. Soon, one stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's all good, until unopened wounds reopen. Is it too late for them to find forever? Or could they even be better the second time around? So I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say that this is a second chance romance. Excited. I haven't read too many of them, so I'm excited to see if that is a trope that I enjoy. So let's see what's inside our thicker box. And I believe both of these boxes have 3 books in it, because I got the max, baby. So another book by a BIPOC author. Like, I have to. We have to. Okay, so this is Someday Maybe by Onyi Nwabineli. I think I said it right. Oh, she's gorgeous. Oh, she's Nigerian. I love that. Okay. Here are 3 things you should know about my husband. 1, he was the great love of my life despite his penchant for going incommunicado. 2, he was, as far as I and everyone else could tell, perfectly happy, which is significant because 3, on New Year's Eve, he killed himself. And here is one thing you should know about me. 1, I found him. Bonus fact, no, I am not okay. Someday Maybe is a stunning and witty debut novel about a young woman's emotional journey through unimaginable loss, pulled along by her tight-knit Nigerian family, a posse of new friends, and the love and laughter she shared with her husband. This sounds good. This sounds amazingly great. Okay, the next book I got, I believe, was a thriller. It might be a romance. It's a romance. So this is obviously it's a romance. Look, it's a romance, Sigrid. This is The Rewind by Allison Wynne Scott. It says, tonight they'll fall in love like it's 1999. 2 exes wake up together with wedding bands on their fingers and no idea how they got there. They have just one New Year's Eve at the end of 1999 to figure it out in this big-hearted and nostalgic rom-com by best-selling author Allison Wynne Scott. When college sweethearts Frankie and Ezra broke up before graduation, they vowed never to speak to each other again. 10 years later, on the eve of the new millennium, they found themselves back on their snowy New England campus for the wedding of mutual friends. Frankie's on the rise as a music manager for the hottest bands of the late 1990s, and Ezra's ready to propose to his girlfriend after the wedding. Everything is going to plan. They just have to avoid the chasm of emotions brought up when they inevitably come face to face. But when they wake up in bed next to each other the following morning, with Ezra's grandmother's diamond on Frankie's finger, they have zero memory of how they got there or about any of the events that transpired the night before. Now Frankie and Ezra have to put aside old grievances in order to find out what happened, what didn't happen, and to ask themselves the most troubling question of all. What if they both got it wrong the first time around? This sounds really good. It sounds kind of like The Hangover, but like a romantic version of it. So I'm excited about this. Like when I first read the synopsis, I was like, yes, add to cart. Next up, I think I have the thriller in my hand. This is the Cloisters. I have trouble pronouncing some words, and this one is a killer. Behind the closed doors of the Cloisters, shocking secrets and a mysterious deck of tarot cards spark a deadly power game within a close-knit group of researchers. When Anne Stillwell arrives in New York City, she expects to spend her summer working at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Instead, she finds herself assigned to, they're gonna say this word the whole time, the Cloisters, a Gothic museum and garden renowned for its collection of medieval art and its enigmatic researchers. Patrick Rowland, the charismatic curator specializing in the history of tarot. Rachel Mondre, Patrick's brilliant curatorial associate, and Leo Bitberg, the gardener charged with cultivating the museum's poisonous plants. Eager to escape her troubled past in rural Washington, Anne is happy to indulge in the researchers' more outlandish theories, only to find that their fascination with ancient divination runs deeper than academic obsession. Patrick is determined to prove that medieval tarot holds the key to accurately telling the future. When Anne discovers a breakthrough in the form of a cryptic deck of 15th century tarot cards, she finds herself at the center of a dangerous game of power, seduction, and ambition. As her circle reaches its breaking point, Anne must decide if the tarot cards can teach her not only about the past, but also about the future. Deeply researched, lushly told, and thrillingly paced, The Cloisters, oh, I said it right that time, explores the shimmering line between what is real and what is imagined. The magical melding of the modern and the arcane, the power we have to defy what is written in the stars and to shape our own face. This month's bookmark says, if you were a book, you'd be a classic. Wait a minute. The book of the month just called me old? That is what I'm getting from that. How dare you? Yeah, so we get the same bookmark in each of the boxes, so I'm just going to show it once. To our last box. Like I said, I'm sure this one has 3 as well. So the first book we have is White Horse. This is by Erica T. Worth. Some people are hunted in more ways than one. Heavy metal, ripped jeans, Stephen King novels, and the occasional beer at the White House have defined urban Indian Kara James's life so far. But when her cousin Debbie finds an old family bracelet that once belonged to Carrie's mother, it inadvertently calls up both her mother's ghost and a monstrous entity, and Carrie's woeful ignorance about her past is no longer sustainable. Hunted by visions of her mother and hunted by this mysterious creature, Carrie must find out what happened to her mother all those years ago. Her father, permanently disabled from a car crash, can't help her. Her auntie Squeaker seems to know something but isn't eager to give it all up at once. Debbie wants to help, but her controlling husband keeps getting in the way. Carrie's journey towards a truth long denied by both her family and law enforcement forces her to confront her dysfunctional relationships, thoughts about a friend she lost in childhood, and her desire for the one thing she's always wanted but could never have. Okay, next up we have The Last Party, and this is by Claire McIntosh. It says, at midnight, one of them is dead. By morning, all of them are suspects. Ah! I love it. On New Year's Eve, Rice Lord has a house full of guests. His vacation homes on Mirror Lakes are a success. He generously invited the village to drink champagne with their wealthy new neighbors. But by midnight, Rice will be floating dead in the freezing water of the lake. On New Year's Day, Fionn Morgan has a village full of suspects. The tiny community is her home, so the suspects are her neighbors, friends, and family. And Fionn has her own secrets to protect. With a lie uncovered at every turn, soon the question is who wanted Rice dead, but who finally killed him. In a village with this many secrets, murder is just the beginning. I am super excited about that one. I think that one's the one that I am most excited about. And then finally we have one more book by a BIPOC author, which is Bloodmark, the second book in the Legendborn series by Tracy Deonn. I actually wasn't the biggest fan of the first book. I gave it 3 stars, but I'm hoping to reread it and give it another chance. I've heard so many good things about it. Like literally everyone who reads it gives it 5 stars. I haven't heard a single bad thing about Legendborn, and it was interesting. I just, once I got to like the fighting part, I dozed off a little bit, but like that's me. That's just me. But I'm super excited to read this one after I reread the first one. It is a thick one, but like how could you not get this? It's a YA fantasy, so I had to get it. It says, will she become the legend or break it? The shadows have risen and the lines is law. All Bree wanted was to uncover the truth behind her mother's death, so she infiltrated the Legendborn Order, a secret society descended from King Arthur's knight. Oh wait, that's the one time I said Arthur right, because it's the one that I'm always saying, King Arthur's knights, only to discover her own ancestral power. Now Bree has become someone new, a medium, a blood crafter, a scion. But the ancient war between demons and the Order is rising to a deadly peak, and Nick, the Legendborn boy Bree fell in love with, has been kidnapped. Oh wow. Bree wants to fight, but the regents who rule the Order won't let her. To them, she is an unknown girl with herd of power, and as the living anchor for the spell that preserves the legend-born cycle, she must be protected. When the regents reveal they will do whatever it takes to hide the war, Bree and her friends must go on the run to rescue Nick themselves, but enemies are everywhere. Bree's own powers are unpredictable and dangerous, and she can't escape her growing attraction to Selwyn, the mage sworn to protect Nick until death. If Bree has any hope of saving herself and the people she loves, she must learn to control her powers from the ancestors who wielded them first, without losing herself in the process. This is just, it sounds fantastic. Like, even me being a little bit bored, I still gave the first book 3 stars. I feel like that is enough to get the second book 3 stars. Like, this might be better. This might be more interesting. This might have more oomph to it. So you never know. And I'm really excited to have this book. So that is everything that I got in the November book box for Book of the Month. I will be back here with the December boxes. They're still on the way. Once they come, I will do a separate video and just merge them, and then you guys will be seeing all of it at once. Okay, hi guys. So I am popping back in because I have received my other Book of the Month boxes. So I'm going to unbox them while I am making dinner. Right now I'm cooking sweet and spicy barbecue meatballs with cheesy mashed potatoes and corn from Home Chef. This is one of those easy meals where you just throw everything in a pan and put it in the oven. So let me do that, and then I'm going to come back and unbox everything for you guys. Okay, so my meatballs are finally in the oven, so I can unbox a box for you guys. So let's start with the first one. The monthly book that I picked was All the Dangerous Things by Stacy Willingham, and this is a thriller. It says, 1 year ago, Isabel Drake's life changed forever. Her toddler son Mason was taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she and her husband were asleep in the next room. With little evidence and few leads for the police to chase, the case quickly went cold. However, Isabel cannot rest until Mason is returned to her, literally. Except for the occasional catnap or a small blackout where she loses track of time, she hasn't slept in a year. Isabel's entire existence now revolves around finding him, but she knows she can't go on this way forever. In hopes of jarring loose a new witness or buried clue, she agrees to be interviewed by a true crime podcaster. But his interest in Isabel's past makes her nervous. His incessant questioning, paired with her severe insomnia, has brought up uncomfortable memories from her own childhood, making Isabel start to doubt her recollection of the night of Mason's disappearance, as well as second-guess who she can trust, including herself. But she is determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. Oh, wow! So she wrote A Flicker in the Dark. Stacy Willingham, it says, following up her instant bestseller, A Flicker in the Dark, Stacy Willingham delivers a totally gripping thriller about a desperate mother with a troubled past. Wow. This, like, top tier. I'm excited to read that one. So the book that I picked, I had a really hard time finding a more recent book with my little free credit. And so I chose this. I actually had this book in the past before, and I thought it was a biography or a memoir. This is a sci-fi book. I had no clue. But anyways, so this is Severance by Ling Ma. And it's pink. Look how pretty it is. Like, okay. It's at the end of the world or just another day at the office. Candace Chin, newly minted New Yorker, first-generation American, recent orphan, millennial worker bee, loves going to work. She likes the routine and the anonymity of the city. She likes coordinating the production of specialty Bibles, having a project to complete, an object to create, troubles to shoot. Sometimes she likes watching movies in her boyfriend's basement apartment, lather, rinse, repeat. So Candace barely notices when Shin fever sweeps New York. Families flee, companies cease operation, the subway squeaks to a halt. Persuaded by a big payout to be a one-person skeleton crew at the office, she spends her free time photographing the abandoned city as an anonymous blogger. NY Ghost. Eventually, though, Candace will have to escape from Manhattan. Enter a group of survivors, led by a power-hungry IT specialist named Bob. They're traveling to a place called The Facility, where Bob promises they will have everything they need to start society anew. But Candace is guarding a secret Bob will certainly explore. Will her rescuers become her captors? A send up and take down of the rituals, routine, and missed opportunities of contemporary life, Ling Mon's Severance is a moving family story, a quirky coming of adulthood tale, and a hilarious deadpan satire in which the end of the world gets put in its rightful place. Just another setback for an already besieged culture. Most of all, it's a heartfelt tribute to the connections that drives us to do more than survive. That is cute. I had no idea that it was going to be like a pandemic, apocalyptic, sci-fi novel. Like, I can't wait to read that. We did get some extra goodies this time. So we got a little thing of stickers. And then we have a little thing that says here are the book nominees. So these were the books that I could have picked from. And I actually have all of these except for this book. I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. I don't have that. It looks like historical fiction and I don't like historical fiction. Okay, and then we have a bookmark. Same time tomorrow. Okay, so that was everything in my first book of the month box. I'm going to do a little bit more cooking and then I'm going to come back for the second box. Okay, you guys, I am back to unbox the second book of the month, which is right here. So let's look. Okay, I only wanted one book from the monthly selections. I realize now that that thriller was not it, but I didn't know what the thriller was going to be about, but now I'm happy that I selected it. But the book that I was the most excited about, actually that was an add-on. Never mind, that was an add-on book, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was. Anyways, Kiss Her Once for Me. It's a romance, and this is going to be so good. It's going to be messy. It's going to be messy, and I love messy. All right, so let me read it for you guys. It's the best time of the year. 1 year ago, recent Portland transplant Ellie Oliver had her dream job in animation and a Christmas Eve bookstore meet cute with a woman she fell in love with over the course of a single night. But after a betrayal the next morning and the loss of her job soon after, she finds herself adrift, alone and desperate for money. Since finding work at a local coffee shop, she's just getting through the days until Andrew, the shop's landlord, proposes a shocking drunken plan, a marriage of convenience that will give him his recent inheritance and alleviate Ellie's financial woes in isolation. They decide to spend the holidays together at his family's cabin to keep up the ruse. But when Andrew introduces his new fiancés to his sister, Ellie is shocked to discover that his sister is Jack, the mysterious woman she fell for last Christmas Eve. Now, over one very festive week, Ellie must choose between the safety of a fake relationship and the risk of something real. I have been waiting for this book, and I was not expecting Book of the Month to have it as an option, but I'm so happy. So I'm super excited to read this. I like that it's sappy. I like that it's messy. I love the fake dating part of it. And then the next book I got was an add-on, and this is a YA fantasy, and I feel like Book of the Month don't really do a lot of YA fantasy anymore. Back in the day, okay, I was with Book of the Month when they used to have a separate box just for YA, like all of the picks were YA. I remember that back in the day when I first started. So this is a Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw. When all is lost, look to the stars. Vega has lived in the valley her whole life, forbidden by her mother to leave the safety of its borders because of the unknown threats waiting for her in the wilds beyond. But when Vega sees an omen in the sky, one she cannot ignore, she is forced to leave the protective boundaries of the valley. Yet the outside world is much more terrifying than Vega could have ever imagined. People are gravely sick. They lose their eyesight and their hearing just before they lose their lives. But Vega has a secret. She is the last astronomer, a title carried from generation to generation, and she is the only one who understands the knowledge of the stars, knowledge that could hold the key to a cure. So when locals spot the tattoo on Vega's neck in the shape of a constellation, the mark of an astronomer, chaos erupts. Fearing for her life, Vega is rescued by a girl named Cricket who leads her to Noah, a boy marked by his own mysterious tattoos. On the run from the men hunting her, Vega sets out across the plains with Cricket and Noah in search of a fabled cure kept secret by the astronomers. But as the line between friends and protectors begin to blur, Vega must decide whether to safeguard the sacred knowledge of the astronomers or if she will risk everything to try to save them all. This is good. Like, yeah, YA fantasy, we're back. Come on, book of the month. I need you to do a little bit more with the YA fantasy, please. Okay, so we get the same thing in the box, the stickers, the nominees here, and the bookmark. That is everything that came in both of my book of the month box. Until next time, I will see you guys later, okay? Bye.